Year in review of books I read in 2022. So yeah, the first book I read that I really liked, and still my favorite book, is Assassin of the Cross. Great book, I would highly recommend it. It's probably the best book I've read in a while. Okay, second book I read. Uh, I was reading this book in 2021, but I finished it in 2022, which was Shadows over Baker Street. H.P. Lovecraft meets Sherlock Holmes. Uh, Interesting compilation of stories. First one is by Neil Gaiman. Great guy. I've been reading his Sandman stuff, not for a while, but I need to continue it. I've been reading so much, but you'll see. Next book I read. Well, I read all 7 Chronicles of Narnia books. I really liked those. I mean, I wouldn't call them like the best books ever, but I did like them. I see why they're classics. It's children's literature, okay? I understand. It's not going to be meant for somebody like me, but still, I enjoyed it regardless. Chronicles of Narnia is good. Isn't it all about the Bible or whatever? It's like, there's subtext in there. It's there if you look for it, but mainly it's just about Narnia and stuff like that. If you want to look for biblical metaphors or whatever in there, again, it's in there if you want to look for it. Some would say it's blatant as hell. Okay. Anyway, Chronicles of Narnia, good stuff. I read Zorro, volumes 1 through 3. The entire Zorro collection, volumes 1 through 3. I'm still getting volumes 4 through 6 this year, but I read books 1 through 3. I love Zorro, by the way. Zorro is like one of my favorite characters. I've been mainly getting into the, the pulp heroes lately. Yes, I'm into the Shadow, but I really like Zorro, and I really like the Phantom. Okay, dogs are barking. I don't know if you could hear that. Anyway. Shut up, dog. Anyway, yeah. Next book I read, Something Wicked This Way Comes, by Ray Bradbury. I was in the hospital at this point. I was near death, and my mom was actually reading me this book. And we read it all the way to the end right before the surgery was supposed to happen. So, yeah, I like that book. It has a lot of descriptors in it, you know. But the thing is, like, it didn't become a problem for me until, like, near the very end of the book, but it might become a problem for you a bit earlier. I don't know. I really like Ray Bradbury. I've been reading his stuff in EC Comics, and, you know, it's pretty good. I have, like, the only Ray Bradbury movie I have is The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, I believe, and that was what launched the Godzilla franchise. So if you're wondering, like, who's responsible for Godzilla, it's actually Ray Bradbury. Anyway, let's see. Next book I read. I read The Tao of Pooh. That really changed my mind, really opened my eyes. What was it? I think there were 3 books that really opened my eyes. The only 2 I can think of right now is The Tao of Pooh and the Book of Mormon. So, yeah, really expanded my mind. Anyway, let's see. Is there any other books I read? Comic books. Let's go to the comic books now. I read volumes 3 to 4 of Weird Science, volumes 1 to 4 of Weird Fantasy. I read Incredible Science Fiction, volume 3 and volume 4 of Tales from the Crypt, and volumes 1 and 2 of Two-Fisted Tales by EC Comics. I also read volumes 2 and 3 of the Star Wars newspaper strip by IDW, the collection of the newspaper strips. I really liked those too. I was reading the latter 2 this year, so I could be wrong. I think that's all the books, and that comes... Oh yeah, I also read Unemeko When They Cry, volume 2. I am on that series. My sister's having me read it. I'm doing a very terrible job of getting through it, but don't tell her. Okay, I have... What is my current reading like? Well, I am... as you can see, I'm on Shakespeare 1, and I am about this, let's see, this is the correct way, and yeah, I'm about this far the way through. I am reading about an act a day. I used to try and read plays as much as I could, but my mom just said, you know, you're never going to get through it if you try it like that. Just read an act a day. So I've been reading an act a day, and yeah, I've been enjoying Shakespeare. Some people have problems with Old English. I love Old English, you know. I love reading it. But yeah, I can see how some people have a problem with it, and that's why I wrote my book, which is, you know, bridging the gap between the subject of Old English and using modern vernacular to make it easier to swallow for a modern audience. Still, there's got to be people out there that love Old English. I can't just be the only one. Okay, well, I would have read 40 again like I planned to, but I couldn't because I nearly died in 2022. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into it, but it affected me. I don't like that. Anyway, I will hopefully talk to you later.